Hey guys, what's up? My name is Haley. I am a makeup artist. Today I did a makeup tutorial on how to get flawless foundation application and also how to contour and how to highlight. I really hope you like it. I really hope you learned something from it. If you wouldn't mind, if you would head over and subscribe to my page and give this video a like. If you want to, you can go follow me on Instagram. It's Haley Hope Makeup _ and you can also follow me on Snapchat. It's Haley HALEYHH33. You can kind of keep up with me there, see what's going on, see when new videos are coming up, things like that. Yeah, so if you want to see how to get a flawless foundation coverage and how to contour and how to highlight, then just stick around. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing that you need to do to make sure you have a flawless foundation is to prime your skin. I am going to be using the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. So we're going to be using this to prime our face today. So just need like a pump and a half in your hand. And then we're going to start just rubbing this in. I love this stuff. It smells so good. So great. I have really dry skin. So the Becca one is going to be really good for people with dry skin. It's going to hydrate your skin a lot more. Then the next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to color correct. I'm going to be using the NYX CC cream. That's the color correcting. It says that it neutralizes the appearance of redness. It contains like antioxidants and cool things like that. Literally about 6 months ago, I was struggling with really bad hormonal breakouts right through here on my chin, and then occasionally I just have some in some other places. If you see me looking down here, it's because I have my monitor down here. So I'm just making sure that I'm in focus. I already tried to film this video once and like it was completely out of focus on something. That's why I'll be looking down there. Just gonna apply a little bit to the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna dip my brush in it, and I'm just gonna start putting it on those areas. So it's green, as you can see. Green cancels out red. A lot of times if you want to get a flawless foundation routine, and like the reason that I'm not going to put concealer underneath my foundation is because the more layers of things that you have, the cakier it can look, and that's obviously not really good. If you do put anything on underneath your foundation, you want it to be really thin. So next we're going to go in with our foundation. This is just my routine. You don't have to necessarily do it like this. It's probably a little bit extra. This is going to be full coverage, just to let you guys know, because I do have some scarring and some breakouts, things like that. I do want it to be full coverage so that I can completely cover that up. I'm going to be using 2 foundations today, and I saw this done by Manny MUA. I tried it. I ended up loving it. First, I'm going to go in with the Make It Forever HD stick. And I am going to be in the shade R230. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to start applying it. So I do 3 stripes on my cheek and then 1 right here in the middle. Same on the other side. You don't have to do this many. If you don't want as full of a coverage, you could probably do just like 1 or 2. I'm going to do several on my chin because that's where I need the most coverage. And then I'm going to go on my forehead. Do some here. So that is going to be what it should look like so far. And then I'm going to go in with the Dior Airflash. So this is going to be a spray-on foundation. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take my damp beauty sponge and I'm going to actually apply, like spray my foundation. I'm going to spray it straight onto the sponge. And then I'm going to use it to blend in my foundation. So I'm going to spray it on the sponge just like that, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to start pouncing it into the skin to blend in my foundation. I just want to pounce this up and down. I'm not dragging the foundation. If we drag the foundation, then it's not, it's going to move the placement. And we don't want to move it around too much. We really just want to blend. We want to bring it down on our neck to make sure that everything is even and that it looks really natural. Just blending the forehead out. Obviously, as you can see, I did my brows and my eyes before I started filming. Just because this video is going to be completely focused on my face only. If you'd like to see, you know, something on how to get this eye look, definitely just let me know in the comments below. Not that I'm going to have people commenting because this is my first video and nobody knows who I am. so that's fine though. Okay, so now we have finished our foundation and we're going to go and move on to concealing and highlighting. So I am using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. We're going to take that and we are going to put it on the places where we want to highlight. So we're going to highlight the under the eye. I have dark circles just from staying up too late and college, trying to be an adult, you know, things like that. So we're going to try to take care of that with concealer. So as you can see, I normally just make a line right there where the hollow of my eye is. Then I make a line, I'm going to bring it down my nose. And then I'm going to take a line and stripe it out like that. And then just fill it in. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight the other areas of my face that need highlighting. So I normally make a cross right here on my chin. I'm going to do my Cupid's bow. Down the nose. And do like a little V. Alright, so it should look like this. And then we're going to take our beauty sponge and we're going to go ahead and we're going to blend it out. So I'm going to leave my eyes for last. I'm going to let it sit so it can get maximum coverage. And I'm just going to blend everything in pretty good. Alright, so we're going to go in and blend out our eyes. So we're just pouncing and going back and forth motions. Again, you don't, just like with our foundation, you don't want to drag this. Because that's going to move the product and that's not what we want. So now we're going to set our eyes and we're going to be using the RCMA No Color Powder, which is the original one, and it is phenomenal for dry skin. And it's like 12 bucks, which you literally can't beat. So I love using this stuff, so I'm just going to dip my beauty blender into it, get a little bit on it like that, and then we're just going to take it and we're going to set our under eyes. I'm not going to set my whole face right now because I'm not done with my cream products. Once you put powder on your face, you can't put any more cream products on it. That is just gonna, it's gonna look cakey. It's just not gonna look cute. You know, we gotta be looking cute. I always set my under eyes immediately because that is an area that's most likely to crease, and we don't want our under eyes to crease. We want it to stay smooth looking and beautiful all throughout the day. So we're not gonna set our whole face yet. Now that our foundation, our concealer's done, we have our flawless face, we got to create some dimension in our face. So that is where contouring and highlighting, like highlight, where that comes into play, which is like my favorite part. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cream contour and powder contour. Definitely not necessary for everyday looks, but just in case you guys want to know how to do it, I'm going to do both today. On an everyday basis, I don't mess with doing all this because it's just way too much. So, but I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So now I'm going to be taking this Smashbox Cream Contouring Stick. There we go. It's just this cute little like stick thing right here. I think that it's super awesome. So we're going to create, we're going to draw where we want our contour to be. The point of contouring is, I don't like to say hide features you don't like because I love makeup, but I do think that you should always feel beautiful even without makeup on. So I like to say that contouring helps bring out the features you like most in yourself. We're gonna put it, as you can see right here, in the hollow of my cheek. So if you do your little fish face like that, it should go right down into that. And we're also going to contour the forehead just to bring more attention, more focus to the center of the face. I'm just going to take, this is a Sephora, the Pro Flawless Airbrush, the 56 brush. I don't use it for foundation anymore. So as you can see, I'm blending this in upward motions. We don't want to ever drag down because that is going to create like wrinkles and aging and stuff. We always want to blend up and have our face look more lifted. So now we're going to go in and blend our forehead out. And we're just taking it and we're just rubbing it in. So now we are going to set our face because we are done with our cream products. No more liquid, no more cream going onto our face. So now we're going to set it. I'm going to be using the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in Warm Rose. We're going to take this and we're going to use it to set our entire face. So I'm going to be using a Morphe E3 brush, which looks just like this. So I'm just running it in that And then I'm just going to press it into the skin. The girl at MAC told me that this is good for people with dry skin. Apparently it helps like your skin still be able to breathe, and I like my face to have more of a dewy finish. If you are oily and you are doing this step, I would recommend still using a pressed powder, but using something that's going to have a little bit more of a mattifying effect to it. They make a lot of them. Now we're going to bronze up our face. So we're going to start in with the contouring part for powder. Now that we have set it, so if you notice when I was setting my face, I was pouncing it in like this because we don't want to move that product, right? Now that we have set the face and we've pounced and done all that jazz, we can like swipe. So you're going to see me swiping on and putting my bronzer on, things like that, and that's because I've already set the face. So my foundation is not going to move. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to be using the Toofaced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. They also have the chocolate and the dark chocolate, so if you are more tan than then you can definitely use that. So I'm just going to take, this is just a big powder brush from Glow Minerals. I just got this when I started school, so I'm going to use this brush. So swipe it around, tap off the excess, and we're going to go in. So I'm just going to be putting this all over my cheek. It's a really nice warm toned bronzer. Not being too careful with where I apply this as far as like creating that contour shape, because I'm going to go back in and clean this up in a minute with translucent powder. I love this stuff and it smells like chocolate. Again, I'm going to be going and contouring all this. I'm just warming up the skin. Okay, so now we're going to contour. I'm going to be going in with the Hoola bronzer by Benefit to actually contour. It has much more of a cool tone to it. So typically, you don't have to do this. Again, there are no rules to makeup, so you do whatever you want to do. But if you were to take like a makeup seminar or makeup class or whatever, they're going to tell you that it's better to contour with cool tone bronzers. So that's what I do for my face, but you can do whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to be going in with a Morphe 523 brush. So I'm just going to go in. Again, you can make your fish face and see where your hollows are. I'm just going to start taking this back and forth. I still do the fish face. Ain't no shame in the fish face game, okay? Gotta do what you gotta do. I'm going to take some and I'm going to go up here on the forehead. I'm going to contour out my jawline because I don't have a prominent one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my contour and I'm just going to start running it along the jawline just like this. And we're going to bring it up some too, kind of create that shape. And as you can see, it's just going to create kind of like a kind of shadow. That looks nice. No jawline. Bam! Same thing, just run it along that jawline. Make sure it's nice and blended. You gotta blend. You gotta blend. If you don't blend, everybody gonna know you a fraud. And we don't want that for you, you know? I don't really go in like ham and contour my nose or anything. I like my nose. That sounds kind of conceited, but I really do. I don't want to try to make it smaller or anything. I think I would look kind of like a snake or something then. And we ain't trying to be Lord Voldemort up in here, right? Just take my bronzer and I just go along the sides of it just because I do like to put some color there. That way there's a little bit of dimension on my face and it's not just like stark white all throughout the center. So now we're going to clean up our contour line and we're going to go in with the same beauty sponge from earlier and the RCMA no color powder. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out from right here from the top of my ear and I'm going to make a line with translucent powder all the way down to my mouth. Now I'm just using this to clean up. I'm not baking. Do you hear my dog outside whining? Oh my god, I need to let him in. Or what did I already say? If you see a tail wagging or you hear something, it's my dog, Gatsby. Oh, I was talking about baking. Because I don't have oily skin, my makeup pretty much stays in place all day. That is the one benefit of having dry skin. Oilier skin types, your makeup is more likely to move so you can bake. Basically what baking is you just take this translucent powder and you would just pack it all on an area, like your nose, forehead, mouth, like smile lines, wherever your makeup tends to settle. You would just pack it in, let it sit, and then you would brush it away. You can look at Patrick Star. He bakes the crap out of his face. Like, if you want to learn how to bake, that's who I would watch, honestly. So I just use a translucent powder to clean it up. So I'm going to apply, and I'm literally just going to let it sit for just a second, and then I'm going to brush it away. So I'm going to take it, and I'm going to And I'm just going to let it sit long enough to do the other side of my face. So I just put a little bit of a curve in it. And I'm just going to take my powder brush from earlier, the E3 brush, and I'm just going to wipe it away. And just like that, we have a nice clean contour line. So now we are finished with our contour. It should look like this. We're going to move on to blush. So there's a lot of different ways that people do this. I like to kind of stack it. So I do my contour first, and then my blush, and then my highlight. That's just what I like to do. I'm going to be using the Becca Mineral Blush in the shade Flowerchild. I'm going to be taking my Morphe E4 blush brush. I don't really know if it's meant for blush, but that's what people use it for. Just going to pat it just a little bit, tap off any excess, and then proceed to put it on the tops of my cheekbones. We don't want to put this on the middle of our face because that's when you start looking like a clown. Do the same to the other cheek. This color is so pretty. It's time for highlighting. Because I am so fair skinned, as I have said 1,000 times in this video. So I actually have to use 2 different types of highlighters to really make mine pop. Beautiful shades, what I was saying earlier, beautiful shades like Champagne Pop or any type of like rosy gold. Highlighter won't really do much for me or show up on me. It'll look more like a blush. So I have to use like a white, like blinding ass shade. For me, it's just kind of like a base highlight is kind of what I like to call it. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Moonstone. So this is what I'm going to be using today for my first highlight shade. So I'm going to be using a Morphe M310 brush, just like your basic, like fan brush. And I'm going to go, so we're just going to start out. We're going to apply this. So as you can see, it's really pretty and it kind of starts to have a sheen to it. But not that just blinding highlight that we want to go for. Now, I do have to do multiple layers. So one layer is not going to do a whole lot for me. I got to put a couple layers on. So for the second highlight shade, I'm going to use something that's a lot more like just white and like almost diamondy to really give my cheekbones that just glowing just look that I'm like looking for. This is actually a highlighting trick and suggestion that I saw on Jaclyn Hill's page, who's the queen of highlighting. If you don't know who she is, look her up. We have the same last name. So basically I'm as cool as her. Just kidding. I wish. And she actually takes the Morphe 35E palette, which is this right here. It's an eyeshadow palette, but she takes it and she uses the top row as highlighters, which is super cool because they're like super pigmented. So I don't use these over here because they're a little bit more, again, like champagne-y gold color. They're not going to do much for me. But this shade right here, this white shade, I live for it. And the pink shade too, I really like that. So I just used really these first 4 colors. This whole entire palette is like $22, which is absolutely insane because I can use these for highlights and then all these other really beautiful shimmers I can use on my eyes at some point, which I'm sure that I will. You can't really beat that. I'm going to take this white color, a little bit of the pink color, and then that like, it's kind of a champagne-y color, but I'm going to mix it all together and then we begin. Give it to me. If you have more oily skin, probably wouldn't do this because you're going to create oil and shine in the middle of your face anyway. But because I am dry, I don't do that. So I'm going to go in on the top tip of my nose with that same white shade that I was using. Tip of my nose and kind of bring it down. Also on my cupid's bow. And on my chin. You can also put highlight above your brows. Anywhere where when the light hits you, it like hits first. I guess. Is that the correct way to say it? I don't know. Alright, so I just went ahead and finished off my eyes. I just smoked out the bottom lash line, put some liners, mascara, the whole thing. To finish off the highlighting, we are going to highlight the inner corners of our eyes and our brow bone. And I'm just going to take the same eyeshadow color that I used to highlight on my cheekbones earlier and to do that. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that, and we're just going to go right here in the inner corner of the eye. So inner corners, and then also on our brow bone. Alright, so now just to finish it off, I'm going to put some lipstick on. I'm going to use Candy K by Kylie Cosmetics. It's like one of my favorite nude colors, or it's nude on me. I guess it could be probably pinky on some people. We just need to set our face. So because I want a really dewy finish, if you have oily skin, skip this step, okay? So I'm going to take the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist, which is going to do exactly what it says. I'm not going to spray this all over my face because I think that's too much. I guess you could use this as a setting spray. I don't like to. And I'm going to take this, I'm just going to spray a couple times on where my highlights are. You're supposed to shake it first, so. Alright, and just. MAC Fix Plus does pretty much the same thing, and it's like $30 cheaper. So I don't know if I would repurchase this again, but it does smell amazing, and it is really cooling, and it is really hydrating. So I do like it, but we'll see. Alright, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to set our face. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. I have to use the cooling and hydrating ones, but they do also make the All Nighter and the De-Slick if you have more oily skin. So this is the final look. This is your flawless foundation, contour, highlight. I hope you guys really liked it. I hope you learned something from it. That's the whole reason why I wanted to make a YouTube channel and start making videos, so that people can learn and love makeup as much as I do. I feel like there's such a bad stigma with makeup these days. I feel like people think that if you wear it, that you either wear it to impress someone else, or that you wear it because you don't like the way that you look without it. And makeup is just fun. Makeup is just fun, and it's fun to do, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. If it can make you feel beautiful, then do it. You should do it, and you shouldn't care what anybody else thinks, honestly. So if you do have any questions, or if there's anything you're wondering about, you know, put it in the comments below. I'll be so happy to help you guys with anything that you want to know, any questions that you have about this makeup or anything maybe I didn't say. I hope you guys have a great day or great night wherever you're at. Thanks again for watching. See you next time. Bye.